Your melodies are trash, and it's because you just won't learn simple music theory. I feel like a lot of people say that you don't need to learn music theory and you can just still make beats and make music without it, and that's true, I guess, but you're not gonna level up and become a better producer if you just don't learn a little tiny bit of music theory. If there is a giant world of music theory out there, and if you just learn 1%, just a little bit, it will level up your production game tenfold. I'm not telling you to go out and take a full music theory course and spend days or months or years studying and learning everything, but if you just take the time to learn and study what I'm about to show you, and you get good at it, it will make your beats and your melodies so much better, and you will have such a easier time creating melodies instead of just randomly clicking in notes into your DAW. So let's just get into it right now. All right, so here we are in FL, and I feel like 80 to 90% of producers just make melodies like this, by just randomly clicking in notes and trying to find something that sounds good, and then your melodies end up sounding like this. Yeah, that sounds like dog shit. So instead of doing that, if you just learn minor chords and major chords, that is going to change your life. Especially if you're a beginner, you should always be starting out with chords and a chord progression. So chord progressions are the main driving factor of the melody of a song. You use these chords to convey different types of emotions. So for example, minor chords equal sad or dark or scary, tense vibes, and major chords are the opposite. So it's like happy, uplifting kind of vibes, stuff like that. So if you understand the different types of chords and the relationship between the notes in different types of chords, that is just going to change your life and change the way you make melodies. So we're gonna start here. You can pick any random note. So I'm just gonna pick E right now to start. And that is always going to be your root note, wherever you start for right now. So that's the one note in the scale. To build a minor chord, you're going to go to your root note, go up 1, 2, and click that third space. And then you're going to go from that second note, you're going to go up 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to put that note on the fourth space. So this gap right here between these two bottom notes is called a minor interval. And then the gap between these two notes, this 3-note gap, is called a major interval. So a minor chord is just going to be a major interval on top of a minor interval. And then it's going to sound like this. So just right off the bat, you can see that that is just a more darker vibe, I guess you could say. And for a major chord, something that's happy, all you're going to do is take this middle note and move it up 1. So now you're going to have a minor interval on top of a major interval. And this is what that sounds like. So this is the minor and the major. So yeah, you can just see that the major chords sound a bit more happy, a bit more uplifting. And yeah, that's that. We are going for a dark, trap, scary kind of vibe today. So we're going to start with a minor chord. And also while you're building chords, if you come up here, right? And so we're in E minor, so we're gonna go E and then minor natural scale. So the E is gonna be the 1 note of the E minor scale. So all these white notes are the scale degrees of the scale. So that's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So a regular minor chord is gonna be the 1, the 3, and the 5 is going to be a minor chord. A 1 minor chord, I should say, at least. Other minor chords in the scale are built differently, but a simple basic 1 minor chord is the 1, the 3, and the 5 in the scale. Also, as you're building chords, you can still stack notes on top of this and add more layers and more sounds. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to have this minor interval, this major interval, and then you can put another minor interval on top. So every time you want to add another note on top, you're just gonna add the other interval. So if there's this major interval, you're gonna add a minor, so you can go skip 2 notes at the 3rd one, and that's the 7th. So this is the E minor 7th. And then again, you can add the 9th, which is just another major interval. So 1, 1, 2, 3, add that. Even more. And you can even come down here, 1, 2, 3, add that. You can also do other things like voicing your chords. So if you had just this basic minor chord, right, you can move these notes up and down an octave any way you want, and it'll still sound good. So this is it normally. And if you put that middle note down an octave, it'll sound like this. Or up an octave, it'll sound like this. You can do the same thing with this note here. You can move that up. It's the same chord, it gives it a different kind of vibe, and you're just voicing the notes in the original chord. So you can do the same thing with the top one too. So that's how you build a simple minor chord. Another type of chord that's commonly used in trap production is called a power chord. And that is literally just a minor chord with the middle note taken out. So it's just the 1 and the 5. So it's just, that's it. You can also copy this and put that up. And that's just another type of chord that's used in trap production pretty commonly. But today I think we're just gonna go with regular minor chords. So this is one chord to get started, a basic minor triad. And to build a chord progression, it's just multiple chords. So we can just build a simple 2-chord progression here. So we're gonna copy this chord over, and great way, especially if you're doing dark trap, to create that dark, scary, tense kind of vibe is using something called dissonance. And that is just when you take a note and just move it one space away from the previous note. So doing something like this while keeping the note in the scale is going to create a dark, scary, tense kind of vibe. So I'm sure that chord progression sounds pretty similar. It's a super popular one. It's used by Travis Scott a whole bunch. So another thing that you can do, and that I do all the time to create chord progressions, is just starting out with the bass notes. So you can just go like 1, 3, 5, 4, or whatever. 1, 3, 5, 4. Sure. So that's the 1 chord. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. From there, you can just build chords. So this is just a basic 1 chord here. This is going to be like a major chord almost. You can also do that, but you want to keep the notes in the scale. And this is a basic 1, 3, 5, 4 triad chord progression, and it sounds like this. So that sounds pretty good right now, but there are some edits that we can make to make it sound a little bit more smooth and a little bit more fluid and one piece. So when you're creating chord progressions, it's generally a good idea to have all of your chords kind of, all of your notes in your chords at least kind of close together. So we can do some voicing of some of these chords to make it more flat. So like we can take this F, move it down an octave, and we can take this E, move that down an octave too. And then so also right here, you see we have some dissonance. It's notes that are 1 apart. Here, same thing. So now it sounds like this. And that sounds pretty dope, honestly. Another thing you can do too is you can mess around with the order that the notes, that the chords are being played in. So if you come up here, click at this little button, and you can click and see how different chords sound. So you can play here, it'll play that. I think maybe that down there might sound good. Yeah, we have a full chord progression here, 4 chords. I changed up the second chord a little bit to be this first chord with this middle chord moved down. So that's called a suspended chord. It's just taking that, moving it down 1. But yeah, this is what we got. So now that we have this chord progression, we can stop right here and just use this as a melody, honestly, and make a beat just from this. But you can go a little bit crazier and add other notes on top. Just add like a top line, something that is in key in the same scale, using the same notes as the chords. Just arpeggiate, so we can do something like this, that. It's literally just arpeggiating and using the same exact notes. And then we can come down here to and add bass notes. We can just select all of these bottom notes, duplicate them, and move them down like 2 octaves, and that's your bass notes right there. And then yeah, there's your bass notes right there. And obviously this is just a super simple piano. Going into sound selection and mixing and adding effects like that will definitely take this melody to the next level, but that is something for a whole another video. So yeah, guys, honestly, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to give you a quick little rundown and lesson guide, whatever, on simple music theory that you should learn to make your melody stop sucking. I promise you, if you learn this and study this and really practice it, it will make your melodies so much better, and it will just let you have such an easier time making melodies, and it won't take you a million years to create a random melody and get lucky and try to find something that sounds good by randomly clicking in notes into your DAW here. If you guys want me to do a separate video on sound selection and mixing and just furthering the process of making this melody, let me know down in the comments below. I would be more than happy to do it. But yeah, hope you guys learned something. Hope you guys enjoyed. It's been real. It's been your boy Dougie. Peace.